We're going to start Deathtrap Dungeon, a fighting fantasy RPG. It's a book where you decide the adventure. Something I've played when I was a little boy. I had the original book that came with the video game. I threw it away, but I decided I want to play it again. Luckily, it's online. You can buy it on Steam on Fighting Fantasy. And then for a couple of bucks, you can buy the Deathtrap Dungeon story. I want to do this in two separate ways. One, we're going to play the game. You're going to see everything that I do, all the rolls, everything. And I'm also going to try to cut the game in a way that I can just upload only the story, nothing else. I want to do it in episodes, and at the end of the episodes, I'm going to leave on a choice. I want you to help me to make the choice. So I hope you want to come along for the ride. We'll start with the intro, we start with the roles, we make the character, and then we dive into Deathtrap Dungeon. Deathtrap Dungeon is a fighting fantasy gamebook, an interactive adventure in which you are the hero. You can only win by choosing the correct path, finding equipment, avoiding traps, and surviving combat. You will need to be as wise as an owl and as cunning as a weasel to triumph over the challenges ahead of you. Before embarking on your adventure, you must determine your own strengths and weaknesses with a series of dice rolls. You have been preparing for your quest by training yourself in swordplay to improve your skill and exercising vigorously to build up your stamina. Before making your rolls, you must choose from one of 3 difficulty settings. This gamebook has been designed for optimum challenge on the Adventurer difficulty mode. For newcomers to fighting fantasy, we recommend Adventure or Free Read modes. For experienced readers already familiar with printed versions of this gamebook, we recommend Hardcore Hero mode. Yeah, I don't think we're going to do Hardcore Hero mode. So, Adventurer, play Deathtrap Dungeon exactly how I and Livingstone designed it. Very little has been changed from the printed version. Your starting skill is calculated by rolling 1d6 plus 6. You're also given unlimited bookmarks, which act like placing your fingers between the pages. This is something that I did when I had the book. I had my fingers, pencils, and rulers, everything in between, just so you could go back if you messed up. So we need to figure out how we're going to do that here. Then we have the Hardcore Hero. If you have beaten Deathtrap. I'm also watching the kids, so there's a handy dandy monitor. So if something weird happens, probably the kids. Hardcore Hero. If you have beaten Deathtrap Dungeon in Adventurer mode or have read the printed form of this book before, this difficulty mode allows you to test your courage in the Baron's Labyrinth with the ultimate challenge. Your starting skill is calculated by rolling 1d6 plus 4. You still receive unlimited bookmarks. So it's just 2 minus. How is that the ultimate challenge then? And the free read, play Deathtrap Dungeon like an old school cheater. In free read mode, you roll your character exactly the same way you would in adventure mode. We are given 3 extra options to help easily negotiate your way through the book. Rewind, free choice, and heal. These are accessed through the adventurer sheet. You may use all 3 of these buttons anytime during your adventure except during combat, when you may only use the heal button. Rewind button, you can move backwards to the previous page. Should you take the wrong direction, you can now back up and choose another path. Free choice, you can unlock all links on any page irrespective of whether they are available, so you can easily negotiate tricky parts of the story. Oh, that's nice. And the heal button, yeah, I'm not going to read this all. We are going with adventurer as intended. You have chosen the Adventurer difficulty. Before continuing, you must calculate your initial stamina. Your stamina score reflects your general constitution, your will to survive, your determination, and overall fitness. The higher your stamina score, the longer you will be able to survive. You must roll 2 dice and add 12 to the number rolled. This is then entered in the stamina box on your Adventurer sheet. Stamina will go up and down during your journey, but if your stamina fails to 0, you die and your adventure is over. Let's roll our stamina. It's 6 plus 12 is 18. That's okay. Then let's go for our sword fighting, our skill. Your skill reflects your swordsmanship and general fighting expertise. The higher the better. Your starting skill is determined by rolling 1 die and add 6 to the number. This is then entered in the skill box on your adventure sheet. Your adventure sheet can be accessed at any time using the menu at the bottom of the screen. Roll your starting skill. I'm very happy. I've done this several times to see if it worked. First time I rolled a 6, which would mean the best. I then tried to see if all the recording worked, and I rolled a 1. So I'm really happy that we can go with a 5. Next, determine your luck. Your luck score indicates how naturally lucky a person you are. Luck and magic, completely the same, are facts of life in a fantasy kingdom you are about to explore. Your starting luck is determined by rolling 1 die and adding 6 to the number. This is then entered in the luck box. Luck box. 2. Guess we're not that lucky. And we must take a potion with us. In addition to your other starting equipment, you may take 1 bottle of a magic potion which will aid you on your quest. Each potion contains enough for 1 measure, so use it wisely. The potions of skill and strength will fully restore skill and stamina points respectively. The potion of fortune will add 1 to your initial luck before fully restoring your luck points. We go for strength because without stamina we die. Yeah, sure, because I don't know what. Next, you must prepare your adventurer's equipment. You begin your adventure with a sword, leather armor, and a backpack containing provisions, food, and drink to sustain you during your journey. Rationing your provisions is key to a successful adventure. They may be consumed at any time, excluding combat, by accessing the adventurer sheet. Each meal restores 4 stamina. Be sure to pay close attention to your stamina and restore it regularly. Your difficulty setting determines how many provisions you begin with. Adventurers and free readers start with 10, while hardcore heroes begin with 3. So that is a big difference. I'm glad we don't do hardcore. During your quest, you may encounter characters and items that alter your 3 scores: stamina, skill, and luck. Usually, these scores may only ever be restored to their initial amount. On very rare occasions, a particular page may grant an effect that defies this rule. Aside from these occasions, some magic items may also allow you to exceed your initial scores. Once you've readied your equipment, you may begin. May the luck of the gods go with you on the adventure ahead. So that was all the preparation. Let's dive into the story. Should have brought a full bottle of water here with me. This is only partial. Despite its name, Fang was an ordinary small town in the northern province of Chiang Mai, situated on the banks of the river Kok. Why pick that name? Why? So in Dutch, a kok is a chef, makes food. In English, it's different. I don't know how to pronounce it. Situated on the banks of the river Kok, it made a convenient stopover for river traders and passengers throughout most of the year. A few barges, rafts, and sometimes even a large sailboat could usually be found moored at Fang. But all that was long ago, before the creation of the Trial of Champions. Now, once a year, the river is crammed with boats as people arrive from hundreds of miles around, hoping to witness the breaking of an ancient tradition in Fang and see a victor in the Trial of Champions. Each year, warriors and heroes come to Fang to face the test of their lives. Survival is unlikely, yet many take the risk, for the prize is great. A purse of 10,000 gold pieces and the freedom of Chiang Mai forever. However, to become a champion is no easy task. Some years ago, a powerful baron of Fang called Sukhumvit decided to bring attention to his town by creating the ultimate contest. Also, Sukhumvit, I think it's that, Sukhumvit. I'm going to say it like that, but with the help of the townspeople, he constructed a labyrinth deep in the hillside behind Fang, from which there was only one exit. The labyrinth was filled with all kinds of deadly tricks and traps and loathsome monsters. Sukhumvit had designed it in meticulous detail so that anybody hoping to face its challenge would have to use their wits as well as weapon skill. When finally he was satisfied that all was complete, he put his labyrinth to the test. He picked 10 of his finest guards, and fully armed, they marched into the labyrinth. They were never seen again. The tale of the ill-fated guards soon spread throughout the land, and it was then that Sukhumvit announced the first trial of champions. Messengers and news sheets carried his challenge, 10,000 gold pieces and the freedom of Chiang Mai forever, to any person surviving the perils of the labyrinth of Fang. The first year, 17 brave warriors attempted the walk, as it later came to be known. Not one reappeared. As the years passed and the trial of champions continued, it attracted more and more challengers and spectators. Fang prospered and would prepare itself months in advance for the spectacle it hosted each year. The town would be decorated, tents erected, dining halls built, musicians, dancers, fire eaters, illusionists, and every sort of entertainer hired. And the entries registered from hopeful individuals intent on making the walk. The week leading up to the festival found the people of Fang and its visitors in wild celebration. Everybody sang, drank, danced, and laughed until the day of the trial broke. And the town thronged to the gates of the labyrinth to watch the first challenger of the year step forward to face the trial of champions. Having seen one of Sukhumvit's challenge flyers nailed to a tree, you decide that this year you will attempt the walk. For the last 5 years you have been attracted to it, not for the reward, but for the simple fact that nobody has ever yet emerged victorious from the labyrinth. You intend to make this the year in which a champion is crowned. Gathering up a few belongings, you set off immediately. 2 days' walk takes you west to the coast, where you enter the cursed port Blacksand. Wasting no time in that city of thieves, you buy your passage on a small boat sailing north to where the river Kok meets the sea, and from there you raft upriver for 4 days, until you finally arrive in Fang. The trial begins in 3 days' time, and the town is in an almost hysterical mood of excitement. You register your entry with the officials, and you are given a violet scarf to tie around your arm, informing everyone of your status. For 3 days you enjoy Fang's greatest hospitality, and are treated like a demigod. During the long merriment, you almost forget your purpose in Fang, but the evening before the trial, the magnitude of the task ahead begins to dominate your thoughts. Later, you are taken to a special guest house and shown to your room. There is a splendid 4-poster bed with satin sheets to help you rest. But there is little time left for sleep. Just before dawn, a trumpet call awakens you from vivid dreams of flaming pits and giant black spiders. Minutes later, there is a knock on your door, and a man's voice rings out saying, "The challenge begins soon. Please be ready to leave in 10 minutes. You climb out of bed, walk over the window and open the shutters. Already people are thronging in the streets, moving quietly through the morning mist. Spectators on their way to the labyrinth, no doubt, hoping to find good vantage points from which to watch the competitors. You turn away and walk over to a wooden table on which your trusty sword lies. You pick it up and cut the air with a mighty sweep, wondering what beasts its sharp edge may soon have to meet. Then you open the door into the corridor. A small man greets you with a low bow as you emerge from your bedroom. "Follow me, please," he says. He turns to his left and walks quickly towards the stairs at the end of the corridor. Leaving your guest house, He darts down narrow alleyways between houses, and you have to walk quickly to keep up with him. Soon you come into a wide dirt road lined with cheering crowds. When they see your violet scarf, they cheer even louder and start showering you with flowers. The long shadows cast by the people in front of you shrink as the bright yellow sun rises higher in the morning sky. Standing there in front of the noisy and vibrant crowd, you feel strangely alone, aware of your coming ordeal. Suddenly you feel a tug on your shirt, and you see your small guide eagerly beckoning you to follow him. Ahead you see the looming hillside and the dark mouth of a tunnel disappearing into its inner depths. As you get closer, you notice two great stone pillars on either side of the tunnel entrance. The pillars are covered with ornate carvings, writhing serpents, demons, deities, each seeming to scream a silent warning to those who would pass beyond them. You see Baron Sukhumvit himself standing by the entrance, waiting to greet the contenders in the Trial of Champions. You count 5 others standing proudly in line, their violet scarves displayed for all to see. There are 2 bare-chested barbarians dressed in furs. They stand completely motionless, legs straight and slightly apart, arms thrust forward to rest on the hilt of their long, double-headed battle axes. A sleek elven woman with golden hair and feline green eyes is Don't know if you'd hear that, but that's the kid moving around. A sleek elven woman with golden hair and feline green eyes is adjusting the crossbelt of daggers wrapped around her leather tunic. Of the 2 remaining men, one is covered from head to toe in iron plate armor with a plumed helmet and a crested shield. The other is cloaked in black robes, only his dark eyes showing between the swats of his black face scarves. Long knives, a wire garrote and other silent death weapons hang from his belt. The 5 contenders acknowledge your arrival with almost imperceptible nods of the head, and you turn to face the exultant crowd for the last time. Suddenly, a hush falls over the crowd as Baron Sukhumvit steps forward holding 6 bamboo sticks. You draw one from its outstretched hands and read the word 5th. Then the trial begins. The knight is first. He salutes the crowd before disappearing into the tunnel, and is followed half an hour later by the elf. Next goes a barbarian, and then the dark assassin. Now it is your turn to salute the crowd. Holding your violet scarf aloft, you take one final deep breath of cool, fresh air before turning to pass between the stone-pillared gateways into Sukhumvit's corridor of power, to face unknown perils on the walk through the mighty Baron's Deathtrap Dungeon. The clamor of the excited spectators gradually fades as you venture deep into the gloom of the cavern tunnel. Large crystals hang from the tunnel roof at 20-meter intervals, radiating a soft light just enough for you to see your way. As your eyes gradually become accustomed to the near darkness, you begin to see movement all around. Spiders and beetles crawling up and down the chiseled walls, disappearing quickly into cracks and crevices as they sense your approach. Rats and mice scurry along the floor ahead of you. Droplets of water drip into small pools with an eerie plopping sound, which echoes down the tunnel. The air is cold, moist and dank. After walking slowly along the tunnel for about 5 minutes, you arrive at a stone table standing against the wall on your left. On it there are 6 boxes, one of which has your name painted on its lid. Oh, we come to our first decision in the game. So what are we going to do? We're going to open the box, or we're going to continue walking north. I'm a curious man, so I'm going to open the box. The lid of the box lifts off easily. Inside you find 2 gold pieces and a note written on a small piece of parchment addressed to you. After placing the gold in your pocket, you read the message, which says, "Well done. At least you have the sense to stop and take advantage of the token aid given to you. Now I can advise you that you will need to find and use several items if you hope to pass triumphantly through my Deathtrap Dungeon. Signed, Sukhumvit. Memorizing the advice of the note, you tear it into tiny pieces and continue north along the tunnel. We need to find some items. Let's try to do so. After walking down the tunnel for a few minutes, you come to a junction. A wide arrow painted on one of the walls points west. On the floor you can see wet footprints made by those who entered before you. It is hard to be sure, but it looks as though 3 of them follow the direction of the arrow, while 1 decided to go east. How helpful would they be? Let's go to the east. Ahead, you can see a large obstruction on the tunnel floor. Although it is too dark to make out exactly what it is, the wet footprints you have been following carry on towards the obstruction. We're going to continue east. You see that the obstruction is a large brown boulder-like object. You touch it with your hand and are surprised to find that it is soft and spongy. If you wish to try and climb over it. Oh boy. Let's try and climb over it. You clamber onto the soft boulder, half expecting to be engulfed by it at any moment. Getting over it is difficult, as your limbs sink into its soft casing, but eventually you manage to struggle over it. Relieved to be back on firm ground, you head east. We don't know what it is. The tunnel makes a sudden turn to the left, and head north, as far as you can see. The footprints you are following start to peter out as the tunnel becomes gradually drier. Soon you are beyond the dripping roof and the pools on the floor. You notice the air becoming hotter, and you find yourself panting even though you are walking quite slowly. In the small recess on the left-hand wall, you see a section of bamboo standing on its end. Lifting it down? In the small recess on the left-hand wall, you see a section of bamboo standing on its end. Lifting it down, you see it filled with a clear liquid. Your throat is painfully dry and you feel a little dizzy from the heat in the tunnel. If you wish to drink the liquid, turn to page 147. If you do not want to risk drinking the liquid and would rather continue north, turn to page 182. This is where I need your help. What are we going to do? Are we going to drink the liquid? Or are we going to ignore it and continue our journey? Let me know in the comments and we'll continue our journey together. I'm going to leave it here. If you like this video, drop it a like, follow me for the next episode, and hopefully I'll see you next week. Bye!